Isaac. Isaac, welcome to New Day.
Thank you.
How is it going?
It's been a blessing.
Yeah, it's full of smiles now, I guess.
Always. It's always been. It's always been. Can't complain.
It's okay that in sports you have your ups and downs. You can't always win. But how has the last few days been for you? How have Ghanaians received you, especially after your latest victory?
Well, look, it's not okay to have ups and downs in sports, but it is inevitable.
Okay.
You know, and one must learn to deal with those setbacks, because I do believe that it is something that educates an individual and also strengthens an individual.
Yeah.
Because if you do not pass through adversity, then you don't really know how much you want it when you get to that point where you need to push through that extra oomph. So it's about being able to accommodate the situation and overcoming it. But in terms of how I've been received,
yeah,
it's been a blessing.
It's been a blessing.
It's always a blessing, and the people of Ghana, sometimes I do believe that I'm like a darling to them. They hold me so dearly and support me so dearly. So it's always been a blessing.
But let's go back to the fight against Joel Gonzalez, your last fight. It was a title eliminator. Obviously puts you in good stead for another title.
Yeah.
Thing is, when we saw the fight, you started really well. But I want to know what your strategy was going into that fight, because at some point, Joel seemed to be gaining momentum, but he also returned later with some hard hooks and all of that. But what was your strategy generally going into that fight?
Firstly, I have to say thanks to God. I thank God dearly for giving us another beautiful day, for the gift of life and also for the victory. Going into the fight, our game plan was to box and fight him, because we knew that he's somebody that comes to fight. He's always in one gear, and he's gonna stay in that gear throughout the whole fight.
Okay.
We saw.
Is it top gear?
I mean, no, not. We saw some of his previous fights.
Okay.
And we saw the pattern that that he was always using. So it was more or less like, people don't really recognize me as a boxer. Most people recognize me as a brawler, someone who comes to fight. I don't mind taking a few to give my own.
Yeah.
But so the game plan was to go out there, box him, fight him when I have to fight him, and also, let him really also show my boxing skills, which people don't really know me for.
So generally your strategy is to attack?
Both.
To the layman?
Both, yeah.
And defend?
Yeah.
But what do you say? What do you say to, not critics, but for those who say that you leave your body too exposed and you receive too many body shots that affects you generally, during a fight?
Well, I don't leave myself, to be punched, because the aim is to hit and not get hit, generally. However,
yeah,
at some point, when you know that you're in control, you are able to bait your man in.
Yeah.
But hey, it doesn't always work out that way. I got caught with a good overhand right. It startled me a little bit, but it wasn't a punch that I would say I was hurt. It was just momentarily, I buckled, so I got back on my feet and kept fighting. It's just one of those things that happens, but you don't kind of like, hey, come and hit me.
But Ike, again, I would ask some of the questions the laymen on the street would ask, because I engage them a lot, and a lot of the time when boxing comes up, your name comes up, and so these are some of the questions. For example, you rose or you have risen to the top as a boxer.
Yeah.
You've had your down moments. It seemed a bit consistent or a bit continuous over a short period of time, though. Are you really coming back? What are we to expect of Dogboe going forward? Is this going to be a flash in the pan, or are we going to see the real Dogboe step forward again?
For the time being, what do you see? After
I
my
saw a
2
good
losses?
fight. I saw a tremendous fight. I saw a tremendous fight that seemed balanced at a point.
Yeah.
And so...
And how many fights have I had so far after my 2 losses?
This one.
Nah. You know, I've had 3 fights.
Yeah.
And all those fights have been, 4 fights, including my last one. All those fights has propelled me. You know, I would say the first comeback fight, it wasn't as intense as the last 3.
Okay.
You know? And I do believe that at that stage, everyone is elite.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody is elite. So back then when, you know, I was clipping people and stopping them in round 7, round 3, round 4 and whatnot. Now it's a bit different, you know. Now you have to be a little bit patient, you know, to really get that longevity in the sport. You have to now start adapting. So I do believe that, you know, boxing for me isn't always going to be a knockouts. Now I have to actually like put together that sweet science, that boxing aspect of things, you know. Go out there, box, show the talent, take a few punishments, knowing that I'm going to have to have that longevity in the sport, you know. So with that being said, you can't say it's by luck. You know, everything is by a consistent approach that we've taken. Every fight that comes, we take it in good faith, and we'll go out there and put up a performance, knowing that we know what is at stake and we know the rewards that we are to reap. You know, when we do get the victory, and you know, you can't say people can't say, is it just a flash? You know, this is very intentional. We are taking a very intentional approach.
So it's strategic?
Of course.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question then, because you took on Barry Hunter, legendary in the game. We all know what he's done with several other boxers around the world. What has training with him been like?
It's been a great learning experience. You know, they came on board not to change anything, but rather to add onto the knowledge that I had prior. And I believe that one does not stop learning. The most important thing is always evolving, you know, through education. And that's exactly what, you know, what they're impacting onto me. You know, like I said, I've had to come to that point where I know that I'm not going to always knock people out.
Yeah.
I have to understand, you know, the sweet science of the sport. That Isaac, every punch that you throw doesn't have to be hard. You know, you have to box. You have to bait your man in.
So you don't always have to go for the hand punches, always looking for the knockout blow. Exactly.
Okay. It's about trying to outsmart your opponent, trying to make him feel like, hey, you are the inferior and he's superior. Then you use his own strengths against him. It's a mind game. Yeah. You know, so that is what boxing for me is about right now. It's about being patient. It's about, you know, taking your time and really executing, you know, gradually executing the game plan.
What would you say is your targets? WBC, WBO, Emmanuel Navarrete?
We don't know. I mean, I praise God that I have options. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna put this out there because my promoters have told me that there is a great demand for me to fight in the UK, and you know, so
I saw that too.
We should see what is gonna happen. You know, but for the time being, they said to me, Isaac, you just had a fight. I think it was the same night after the fight I called. I made that phone call. I was like, yo, what's up? What's next? What's going on? They're like,
Dogboe is back in the real world.
Isaac, go home, take a rest, and let's talk about it next
You mean
week.
you placed that call that same night?
Same night.
Wow.
Same
night.
I mean,
You're looking for your next next opponent.
It was when I was doing my drug test.
Yeah.
And I made that phone call, and I was like, "What's next?" Like, Isaac, you had a great win.
Who are you talking
to? It was
to?
a great fight. I'm not gonna tell the name. It was a great fight, but you know what? Just go home, take a rest, and we'll talk next week. The following week, I'll call it again. I'm like, okay, I'm home now. I'm spending time with my family, but let me know what's happening. You know, and they're like, hey, there's a great demand for you in the UK. As at now, they mentioned a couple of names. They're like, okay, we don't know what plans these people have, but you're in a position for, you know, to fight for any of these guys. So we'll see in the coming months, you know, how we're going to approach the whole situation. So just rest and, you know, and that's it. Let's see.
Do you have any guys in your path that you just don't want to face now? You feel maybe strategically, not that you are scared of them, but you feel strategically, these are guys I just want to meet now in my career.
I think I know where you're taking this question.
Do you?
But I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. So, do you know what, yeah? Honestly, I've never been a guy. I know people will say that, no, that isn't the smartest thing to do. And it isn't about ego. It's just my nature, you know. I love a challenge. If someone gets the better of me, I go back. I hide myself. I prepare. I come back and I try to get you back. It's been me. I'll keep on trying and trying and trying until I get it, you know. But like I said, I'm not going to give you that satisfaction. So I really don't mind who they throw in front of me. I've never been one to shy away from a challenge. You know, I love the competition. I love the fact that, you know, you feel nervous, but yet still you go in there and you want to just prove something. You want to put it all on the line. You have to feel as though like you have nothing to lose, you know. And fear shouldn't control you. You have to control that feeling. It's just a feeling, you know. It's just a feeling that one has to overcome. So, I mean, during the period of training camp, you have those doubts. They do come and go, but then there's another little voice in your head telling you that, listen, that is the reason why you have to work the way you have to work, because you don't know what the next man is doing, you know. So you have to really, you know, get down and boogie, you know, with the training and everything else. So once you get in the ring, you know that, listen, I have submitted myself. Come what may, whatever should happen here tonight, should happen here tonight. And not many people have that mentality.
What would you say is the biggest strength for you mentally? What goes through your mind? What would be the biggest advice you would give that young chap that also wants to get to elite boxing? You know, Ghana is a boxing hub. We have quite a number of young boxers who want to make it to the top.
Yeah.
What's been the trick for Dogboe?
You know, many people say, and you hear it over the years, they'll tell you stay disciplined. You know, they'll tell you all the do's and don'ts. However, if a person lacks mental fortitude, they can't accomplish anything. You know, it's about what's in your mind, what you want to get. It's about when the going gets tough, are you willing to still stand there? It's about what you are willing to put out there in order to gain something that you want. You want that bad. And that's one thing that I have seen among some of the boxers in Ghana. That heart, they don't have it. They can talk the talk. Some of them, they have that pure talent. I may not even get close. But that heart and that mental fortitude, some people don't have it. I believe that it's a gift that God has given me that, you know, sets me apart from the rest of them.
What is that one thing? I've never lifted a world title before. I don't dream to ever to. But what is that one thing that you obviously can say is the thing that keeps you going after winning a world title? What is that? What is the feeling like? What is the one thing you can say is a highlight after winning a world title and you want to experience it again?
You know, life.
Life?
Yeah, life.
What do you mean?
People, I mean, as individuals, you go through many trials, many challenges as you're going along. And I say this, when a child is born, right, on the first onset, they're not able to do nothing. They just lie down, sleep, eat, you know, and poop. That's it, you know. At some stage, they'll start to crawl.
Yeah.
And then they'll stand up. Then they'll start to take steps, you know. They'll fall, they'll get back up. But with that perseverance, they keep on going. The same with life. In your adulthood, right? It's the same thing. You keep on, like, okay, let's say right now you've gone through to school. Now you're pursuing a career. At some point, you're going to have some setbacks.
Yeah.
Some challenging times.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Are you going to still stay there and be like, well, I faced this, so you know what, that's it for me. I don't think I'm going to carry on no more. No. You always want to see to it that you go past that limit, that threshold. You know, you can't be at that constant, you know. So for me, I believe that God has given me everything. The world is so big that, you know what, Isaac, the world is yours. This is your playground. You can achieve anything you want. The good, the bad, the evil. It's about what path you choose to take, you know. And some people, they choose the other path. But me, I'm choosing this path. You know, so for me, for the time being, this is what I want to do.
You're enjoying it?
I love it.
You love it?
You know, I love it.
Would you have pursued another profession?
Another profession?
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't for boxing,
Don't see a presenter.
no, no.
What would you have chosen to do?
I would have gone to the military.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're a hard guy.
Because I like structure.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. I like that.
I like my life to be structured in a way, and that was something that my family really helped me with. You know, they really put me on a path. You know, as a good book says, train a child in the right way, and he may not depart from it. So I've always loved that my life to be structured. You know, that I know that, hey, I get up, this is what I'm doing, I get it over and done with. At some point, you might feel a bit, sometimes you might be a bit lazy, but then when you have someone to be like, yo, you need to get this done. Get it done and get out of the way, let's move on to the next thing. So I think the discipline that comes with it and that structure, that's one thing that, you know, has really helped me, and that would have been my choice of career.
It's good you mentioned family. You mentioned how well you've been brought up and everything. What's your relationship with father like? Ghanaians saw you when you were coming up with Paul, your father.
Mr. Dogboe.
Come again?
Mr. Paul Dogboe.
Mr. Paul Dogboe. And we all saw how he cared for you, how he I wouldn't say single-handedly, I wasn't in the team, but how he became the face of your brand and supported you through you know the development stages. You're still developing though. But what would you say is a relationship now with Mr. Paul Dogboe?
Father and a son.
Perfect. As it is right now, a lot of people say that you are a British boxer. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think when my team confronted the gentleman who put the news out there, well, according to him, he said when he asked me that question, my answer wasn't clear to him. So he just put it out there anyway. To some extent, I would say that's bad journalism. But I mean, listen, we all live to learn. We all make mistakes, and it's just one of those things that happen. You know, I was preparing for one of the biggest fights of my life, and you know, I'm having phone calls. My phone wouldn't stop. You know, even families were calling me, asking me, Isaac, have you switched nationality? And I'm thinking, so where is this coming from? You know, it's not,
so it's a great platform to clear the air.
You know, I had to get onto my team. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and like my phone constantly, I just been flooded with so many messages and missed calls and things. But hey, I'm Ghanaian by birth, you know. God favored me so much that I grew up in the UK. That's where boxing started for me.
Okay.
And I'm proud to represent both countries because both countries are, you know, they do work together and they have a great relationship, you know. Over the years, Ghanaians love the British and the British also love Ghanaians. They come here, they enjoy our culture. You know, some of us also go over there, we also enjoy their culture. So in the end, it's more or less like we bringing people together. Mm-hmm. And boxing, as it is, it's about bringing people together. You know, it's about breaching that gap between, you know, the classes of people. And for me and my team, that's the most important thing, bringing people together. You know, putting that joy and the smiles in people's hearts and people's faces. And that is the ultimate goal for me as an individual.
Should I take that answer? Do you want me to take that answer? Because it wasn't clear to me too. So, mm-hmm. Are you Ghanaian at heart or British?
Of course, I'm Ghanaian at heart.
Would you step up and fight in the flag of Ghana? Don't
I?
Do you?
Don't I?
Do you?
When I fight, what flag do you see on that? What flag do you see on the TV?
So we can quash the idea that you are a British boxer.
Of course.
I can write a story on you today and say the Ghanaian boxer.
Of course.
Fabulous. I wanted to just clarify that. Maybe watering it down a little. After your career, mm-hmm. In other sports, we see a lot of great athletes finish their careers, active careers, mm-hmm. and then they get into coaching. Some become promoters. Others just watch on and say, we want to observe the younger ones.
Okay.
What will it be for you after active boxing?
I was actually thinking that you were going to say that after your boxing career, you're going to go broke.
We are not expecting that. No, we are not expecting that. You have too much money now. You have too much money now. You know what?
Yeah. After boxing, the ultimate goal, even now, the ultimate goal is to help the people coming up.
Okay.
Offer your help one way or the other. You know, because like I keep saying, I see some real good talents out here. You know, and there are so many there, and there are endless opportunities out there. You know, so if each and every fighter can at least even take one person mm-hmm. to say that, you know what, I'm going to help you out. You know, I'm going to give you the opportunity to also, you know, put your talent, show your talent to the world. I think it will make Ghana boxing, you know, really pick up. And, you know, I'm a fighter. I'm not a coach.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be a good coach. Maybe I'll be a good advisor to a boxer. You know, at this stage, I'm learning both the business aspect of it as well as the fighting. You know, so until that day comes, we can only focus on what we know best, and that's fighting. So
meaning, for now, you don't see yourself after your boxing career, you don't see yourself in the gym training another professional? You don't see yourself doing that?
As at now, until the future comes. Because anything at all can happen.
Yeah.
Who knows? I can sleep tonight and I'll wake up.
You will. But you mentioned the business side, meaning you are in promotions as well?
Of course. I mean, promotions, you know, they are quite sophisticated in a way. Maybe it will be to get much more intimate with the fighters. It will be to maybe management and consulting. You know, knowing that, okay, you have all these contacts, you have all these links. So it's about, okay, hey, I know this person, he's raw talent, take a look at him. That sort of thing. And it's something that we're already doing, you know, in the back doors. I have some promoters who do approach me and be like, Isaac, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know, and jokingly I tell them, look, I'm gonna bring my invoice after it's done. You know,
for now, it's free consultancy.
For now, it's free consultancy. Yeah.
All right, but my last question to you though is it to say that we shouldn't expect any, because you know Ghana needs boxing academies. In football, we have Right to Dream. It's doing really well for the footballers. Jamestown has been a boxing hub. It's doing really well for the local boxers, but that's just about it. You became a breath of fresh air because you didn't come from the native boxing hub, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And so you didn't seem to come from the traditional breeding ground.
Yeah.
Do you have any motivation to get more people like you from different parts of Ghana who want to be like Dogboe, who want to be the next Azuma, who want to be the next Ikote, but do not have access or do not grow up in Jamestown, but they have the same motivation? Do you have any dream of bringing some of these guys up?
Of course. Look, boxing isn't just for people in Accra. You know, it's just that it's unfortunate that many people in most of the other regions, they don't have anything, you know. So the only thing is that, oh, I have to come to Accra to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same mentality that some people, I'll put it as Africa, right?
Okay.
Or some people in Africa, they believe that they have to go across seas in order for them to make it. You know, now, if you ask me, from growing up in England, in one community or one neighborhood, there's so many boxing gyms, amateur boxing gyms, that you can either choose to walk to this one, or go to that one, or go to this one, or go to that one. You know, I do believe that in order for people, in order for us to nurture talent, first and foremost, there has to be boxing gyms.
Okay.
You know, we don't have to build a huge thing and say academy. Start, you know, on a smaller scale.
Okay.
When the interest is growing, then you can start to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But for the time being, have a couple in the regions, so that in all the different regions, so that people can have an easy access to go there, you know, to join and, you know, put some people on salary to be the, hey, look, listen, this is what we are doing, this is what we are trying to do, so go out there and see how best you can also develop these people.
Ike, a big thank you for joining us here on New Day. It's been a pleasure having this conversation. Hope you had fun as well.
I did. I did.
And, you know, helping Ghanaians get into your mind, because that's basically what we always want to do.
Yes,
we see you on television fighting beyond our shores, but we want to get up close with you and know what's happening with you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best going forward, and hopefully
you
you bring us more victories and another title belt.
Yes, sir.
All right, I want to hold it, so.
And hopefully I'll see you guys when I'm fighting.
Yeah, we should.
Back there.
We should.
All right.
We should. I know where you're going with that, but we definitely should be there. But this interview and the sports segment has been brought to you by Cocoa Dairy, Free GH. For inquiries, you can call them on 027-444-0180 or visit their Facebook page. That's Cocoa Dairy, Free GH. And that's all for the sport here on New Day. My name is Theo, and I've been here with a legend, a man who is definitely doing great things in the boxing sphere for Ghana. Won his last fight, is aiming for another world title. Isaac the Royal Storm Dogboe. Thanks for staying with us.